your agenda item.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I just wanted to briefly reread my motion, and I will do that right now and then speak briefly on that issue. Sorry about that. Let me look that up real quick. On July 7th, 2006, the Public Employment Relations Board of the State of California issued a complaint against the district for bad faith bargaining during negotiations with the Teachers Association of Long Beach during this past year. A major charge of the case against the district was its failure to produce budget and other documents as requested by the teachers union in its capacity as exclusive bargaining agent for the teacher. State law requires the district to provide and to share this information not only with the teachers union, but with the general public if requested. Generally, and I'm paraphrasing, this shows a general unwillingness to give easy access to the public important documents that will help the public be better informed and be better able to keep the district more accountable. And so my recommendation is that the superintendent shall direct appropriate staff to prominently place on the district website the budget, financial, and other important documents listed below. The staff shall have the 2005-2006 version of these documents posted on the website no later than November 26, 2006, and shall continue to post new documents without removing previous versions on an ongoing and timely basis, but no later than 2 weeks after each document is created or submitted to the appropriate governmental agency. Now, I'd just like to point out that I've gotten two analyses on this from the staff. One is from our Chief Business and Financial Officer, Kim Stallings, where he's pointed out some many items that he does not have a problem with, and there are a couple that he still does. And also I received an analysis from our legal counsel. And I want to share with you real basically that all I'm asking for is that we put documents that are required to be released under the Public Records Act on the web. We're not looking for confidential information at all. I'm frankly a little disappointed with our legal counsel's analysis because as I see it clearly, it is either A, an attempt to increase the legal fees that the attorneys are receiving from the school district, or B, an attempt to kill this motion by making it so expensive that it would be untenable for the board to approve it. So I hope that we can come to an agreeable conclusion on this issue. I'm very open to discussion on this item, and so that we can get something done. As with televising the board meetings, we need to move forward at some point. And if I can't get everything that I'm asking for on the website right now, I would be willing to listen to suggestions about what we can move forward on so that the public can get access to some of these fundamental documents that are already supposed to be given to the public.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis. Dr. Williams?
As we note, the list of items that were initially requested have been modified, and they were modified and changed after we had a chance to consider what those items were all about and whether or not there was a major need for those items. I think this is the kind of discussion that's necessary in a board, and not just one board member, but all board members looking at the way this district is run and what is in the best interest of this district. I think we all can look at these requests in a reasonable way and conclude what is appropriate and what's not appropriate. What is in the public interest in terms of information, and what information is actually needed and being requested by the public. So it's an excellent exercise in being able to arrive at those kinds of conclusions within the framework that we operate, and I'm very happy for the opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd like to point out
Dr. Barton.
Yes, I would like to make a friendly amendment, or actually a substitute motion in this case. We all have a memo from Kim Stallings, the Chief Business and Financial Officer, which breaks out of this list the budget documents. Might I suggest that we include those on the website first? Yes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Barton. First, we have to have a motion and a second on the Mr. Ellis's.
That's the point I was going
I'm
to
sorry, we have a
raise.
motion but no second. So before we make the friendly amendment.
Then I will second it, and now I'll make
Now for discussion.
Thank you.
Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you. To list the budget documents, as Mr. Stallings has done for us, though I would like to include the J90, which is a yearly document that I think could also be put on the list. And to begin there, with those documents, and then proceed with others as we see fit during the year.
I would certainly accept that friendly amendment, if that's what we have and it's not a substitute motion.
I was just going to ask, Mr. President, for the members of the audience, is it okay if the Chief Financial Officer shares with the entire group what that list of, they may not have a copy of it.
Please do.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. The memo that I gave to the board that I have copies of simply lists the budget and related documents, including the adopted budget, the county letter of comment on the adopted budget, the annual audit report, the first interim budget report, the county letter of comment on the first interim budget report, the second interim budget report, the county letter of comment on the second interim budget report, the unaudited actuals, a state financial report. I included on that list the possibility of directing us to explore adding a link on our site to California Department of Education's website where they have a summary of seabeds. And that completed that list. However, the J90 was mentioned, and it was referenced correctly in the original board item by Board Member Ellis in a title that it's sent back to us when School Service of California summarizes the data on that. And so that document or that summary would not be a problem as well to post.
Very good. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'm just trying to understand where we are. I think Dr. Barton has a substitute motion. In that substitute motion, as I understand it, he enumerated the items that would be part of the request, and as part of that, he also mentioned the possibility of items that come up in the future that they would be added. I don't have a problem with that. The only request that I would have is that we utilize the same approach that we use with respect to the initial request, is that any items be vetted to make sure that they don't violate or they are that there is no that, in other words, that the items be looked at by our staff attorney to make sure that they are not in violation of any process, privacy, or anything of that nature.
Very good. If I may clarify, I think where we are, we're about to either agree